Continuing with our conversation with Ross Deal of People's Bank, let's get into 1031 exchanges. So do you want to give a little background about what a 1031 exchange is?
Yeah, 1031 exchange is, it's a transaction where you're selling a previous property and you're rolling it into a new piece of property. The banking end, we treat that as, it's a normal transaction, a normal loan for us, and nothing really special that we have to do on our end. But there are some, very key things that you'd really have to abide by. There's rules that you have to go by with a 45-day period. Once, you decide to sell this piece of property, you're going to roll this money into another property, you have 45 days to find another property. And so that's where it's so important to know somebody like you to be able to go out there and find them that next property in order to roll that money into it.
Right, and so that's the whole point is Huntsville has an inventory problem right now.
Absolutely.
There is a lack of inventory, and so as agents, advisors, even for yourself, it's like, how do we get more property on the market? But because we know it's sitting, and so we came up with this idea, let's try to encourage people who are just sitting on property, they're not doing anything with it. Let's educate them about a 1031 exchange. That way, they can sell that property, and I guess not somebody that's just looking to sell a property, but somebody that's interested in upgrading their portfolio. So that's what we're interested in, someone that is ready to upgrade their portfolio, and we can accomplish that through the 1031 exchange and get a loan on that other part that they might need to upgrade the portfolio.
Tax-free.
Tax-free? No, it was deferred. Tax deferred.
That's right.
You got
to cut that out right there.
No, that's perfect because that's what we do.
Right.
We're human. We make mistakes, but so it's deferred.
Kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, that is the perfect analogy for it. You're just kicking the can down the road, and that's a great segue because I wanted to just kind of hit on the fact that it is deferred. So you eventually have to pay that money, and so that's why we have to make sure that the next investment is going to give you a great ROI so that when you go to pick up the can, it's not full of something that's spilling out on your leg.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you say if they want to upgrade, and we do this with a 1031, the loan process is basically the same.
It's the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The two key people that you want to be in touch with is obviously like somebody that's finding the next property for you, but obviously attorney and obviously your accountant.
Yes.
So it's really important to have those members, those people, the team that you've assembled around you in your business. It's important to have those people around you during this transaction.
And I'm going to plug myself even more. I want to sell the first property for you because I have people waiting.
Right.
I have people waiting. They need warehouse space. We need flex space. Were you at the meeting with the mayor where he talked about how they're trying to make Huntsville more attractive for AI hubs?
For data centers.
Right. So we need warehouses for those.
Absolutely.
So we have a real need, and we know there's warehouses sitting. So can you take us through the steps that they would need, like some of the basic documents that they need to come in and sit with you for a loan?
Yeah, so like what would you need, to go get a, commercial line of credit, to do a construction, or to even go get a commercial real estate loan for a commercial banker. And, the first thing you got to do is go find, you got to have a banker in order to, assist you in the process. But it's just important to have a relationship. You may already have a relationship with somebody, and that's great. But knowing them, getting to know exactly what your vision is for your business and what you want, it's really important to have that banker, and that can be small, medium, large, bank that you're interacting with. Because obviously there's a number of different transactions and different property types that you can buy or finance. So each bank has a different need, and so it's important. They call us like buckets. Some banks have a bucket, and that bucket may be full, and so it's really important to have not just one relationship, but have several relationships, and so have several bankers that understand what you're doing.
I was going to ask you that, should they shop around for rates? But in this case, they're not really shopping for rates. They're shopping for a lender who can actually complete the transaction for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shopping doesn't always necessarily mean, getting the absolute like best terms, but you're really shopping, for the person.
Okay.
You're shopping,
Okay.
you're shopping for somebody that, that you gel with, that you got, you mesh with, that you get along personally with,
Yeah.
because, you're going to know that person, not just personally, but, obviously like professionally. And, finding the right person can really help you grow your business to the way that you want to do that.
Right.
And so it's really important to find that right person.
So what type of properties, or is there, I know you're a generalist,
Yeah.
but is there a niche or a type of product? What type of client are you looking to service right now?
I mean, we don't really have like a specific niche. A lot of times your larger banks, they have a specific niche, or maybe this lender has one industry that they focus on. But we really don't have a specific niche. Probably right now, and again, it's cyclical, so there's like different, cycles of banking and industry trends that maybe, this particular trend is not as attractive. And, right now, I mean, just the size of our bank, we just don't do historically a lot of like tract home, spec home building. We just don't do a lot of that. We don't do a lot of like land development for subdivisions. We have some of those, and those are great. But historically, what we've really been about is we're commercial real estate driven, and so that's primarily what we focus on. And that can be warehouse, that's maybe like a data center, medical, multifamily. There's so many different types of properties that you could lend on. But anything commercial real estate related, that's what we're looking for.
Okay, all right. So can you tell how can people contact you if they're looking for a lender and they want to get to know you better, learn more about you and People's Bank? How can they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. They can, email me directly. It's probably the best way, or my cell phone. It's RDeal, spelled RDEAL, at peoplesbankal.com. Or call me, 256-836-4848. If you don't get me, always return your call.
Yep. Or I know how to get in contact with Ross, so you can hit me up too. Thank you, Ross, so much for giving us some information on commercial lending.
Yep.
And we look forward to talking to you again.
Sounds great.